We are live. Hello, I'm John O'Flaherty. We are live in Oakdale, California. Time is 5:49 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, Tuesday, June 13th, 2017. We're going to do a Ford LTD update. Before I go any further with this, though, it is important that we run an outline so this doesn't take too long. Hood and LTD wreath logo. Interior door handles, armrests, metal weather stripping, windshield stripping. Brome badges on C-pillars, trunk lock emblem, adjust timing, carburetor, replace, points and condenser. Let's discuss what's been done with the car since I last sent out a video on YouTube back in November 2016, about 7 months ago. First of all, let's address the issue. I think I'm going to have light dark issues because I'm half in sun, half out. One of the first things we need to address is not what went right, but what went wrong. Yes, in an effort to address the issue on the old hood, that the wreath was laid down, but the letters were missing, and I picked somebody's brains about how to install those, and in so doing, we had a miscommunication, a failure to communicate correctly. He left the hood ajar. I thought it was down all the way. Make a long story short, it went flying up and basically destroyed itself and portions of the paint job. This required me to go to a separate body shop, which I charged with the responsibility of finding me a new hood in a reasonable amount of time, in the hopes that I could return the car to as close original condition as possible. This was a setback, but nothing that couldn't be overcome. Things seemed somewhat dire and frustrating in December, but by February, I luckily found somebody who not only helped with the hood situation and insurance covered it, but he also went one step further in securing extra parts and doing me additional favors on the side under the price of the same, the original hood replacement, the hood replacement itself, without charging me any extra, which I'm eternally grateful to him for. So let's go a little bit further into that and discuss it, and I'm going to try to change directions on it. So why don't we first of all see the unintended consequence of getting the replacement hood, which he was able to find at a salvage yard in Fresno, was that the salvage hood came with the LTD letters and the wreath already in place. I didn't have to install the ones I haplessly were trying to install when everything went wrong. All it had to do was be sanded down, primed, and painted black. I'm going to lift it up. What he was also able to do was paint the interior of the hood black and put this heat-proofing material on it. It's sort of a silver lining of sort. I'm not really sure what it's made out of. It's insulation is what it is. It's a foam insulation with a like a aluminum, not aluminum, but it's a sort of the consistency of compressed tin foil. And what it does is it protects the exterior of the hood surface from engine heat, latent engine heat. So that was a nice added touch that he gave to the car. Now, speaking of making sure the hood is shut all the way, I'm going to give it a good slam, because that's what the other guy didn't do. When he went to the wrecking yard to find the replacement hood, he was also able to find the missing silver stripping, bright work that went around the perimeter of the windshield. This was really important because it didn't look very good without it. So he was able to do that as a favor to me, no extra charge. He was also able to find the missing Brome badges on the C-pillar. Brome, if you recall, is just a trim level. It would be like Honda Civic DXEXLX. All it is a trim level. It indicates features that came standard versus not standard. On ones that weren't Brom, this simply said LTD. Okay? Might not seem important, but it's the difference between the car looking complete and not looking complete. Other issue I want to bring up, and pretty important, was the door handles and the armrest. I wrestled with this for most of 2016 because it seemed like every time I took 5 steps forward, I took 8 giant steps backwards. Got the door handles on, there they are. But when I tried to secure the armrests, the screws kept falling, kept coming loose and falling in through the door panel, and I was getting frustrated. It was just clearly something I couldn't DIY. So he was able to do it by taking the actual door panel off to secure the armrests, something I was trying to avoid for fear of cracking and breaking the plastic clips that hold the door panel in place. And my feeling was that if I couldn't do that, I preferred he did. All right, so that was the front. Now he was able to secure the rear. I bought the rear ones new, but had a hard time putting them, darn it, you can't see it because I keep, all right. The hardest part was securing it with the, this part that looks metal. It's basically fake metal that's made out of plastic. And it just was not, I wasn't able to secure them together one behind the other. He was, so I got lucky there. It was very nice. And I see I have some comments. Paul, good afternoon to you, Paul. You're viewing my video. That's nice to know. Want to know who's watching, blah, blah, blah. Okay, very good. Well, good afternoon to Paul, who was a member of our Galaxy Car Club. It still is, if the club was still together. I won't get into that. But and if we go over to the passenger side, you will see that the same thing has been done, just, you know, a mirror image and reversed. Looks good. I tell you what, there's a big difference between it being there versus not being there, and it's easy to take it for granted and say, oh, who cares? You know, that's so obvious. We take it for granted. Yeah, until they're not there, and you have to reach out, roll down the window, and reach outside to open the door from the inside using the outside handle. You'd be surprised how much you appreciate it when you don't have them. And again, on the right hand side, he was able to install the armrests. And again, these rubber armrests cannot install directly against the fake wood applique. You have to have them against this fake plastic piece, or else they're not going to work right. Later, guys, dinner first. Oh, James. Well, hi. You didn't trade for the Mustang yet. No, I haven't. As I said, I'm a big car guy. I leave the sports cars more to the sporty people, which I am not. I've always been the square that likes big square cars. Brom, the Brom tag, again, very much appreciative of that. And oh, yes. My latest, let's get out of the sun, the LTD swing away. Again, you wouldn't think this is a big deal until it's missing. And you got 3 gaping holes, and it's the only thing left that hasn't been done correctly, and it looks tacky as hell. So, there that is. Oh, yes, adjusting the timing, carburetor, replacing points and condenser. We did that last week. Finally found somebody who was willing to take it on, and he said I was about 9 degrees too far advanced or retarded or something of that sort. Here, I'm going to turn it this way because it must be 6 o'clock. The fire station time alarm just went off. Here. Okay. The car was running rough. It was backfiring when I took my foot off the accelerator. It had problems. Can't describe them in great detail because I myself didn't even really understand what they all were. But he was able to adjust the carburetor, adjust the timing, He said that I had fried my points, probably by putting the car in the accessories position and leaving it there for too long to like listen to the radio while I was working on the car in the garage or what have you. Said I should have used the accessory position and not the position where you're about to turn on the car. He said that'll fry the points. So I'm like, okay, well, now I know. And the car performs much better when you romp on the pedal when it's warm. Here's the problem though. It's still very sluggish cold, and it still idles very rough when I'm at a stoplight and it's in drive. I have to put it in park or neutral to unroughen the idle, and even then it's not as smooth as I would like it to be. So that's an issue that still needs to be addressed, and I shall do so in due time. But right now, one thing at a time, and I'm fairly happy with the way it's running thus far. Now let's check for a little bit more comments. Shelley joined, okay. Later dinner first. James, you put a sticker on the paint? Oh, no. I would never do that to my car. Hold on. Darn it. No. I would never do that. Dude, I didn't mean to scare you. It's a magnet. It comes on and off. I mean, I'm patriotic, but I'm not stupid. And I respect my country and all. But no, I would never put a sticker on a classic car. I have one there. And I have one on the left front corner. See? Now, why wouldn't you put this flag on the right front corner? Or on the starboard side of a vehicle? Wait a minute. Shelley join. I'm going to invite her. Invite Shelley to be a guest. Okay. Well, the answer is that when you fly a flag on a moving vehicle, you traditionally always put stars, field of stars, upwind. You wouldn't fly it upside down. So the only way to do that is flags on the starboard or right-hand side of a moving vehicle would be flipped around and pretend that you could see it. And stars would be in the upper right-hand corner instead of the upper left-hand corner. This is technically incorrect. So the only way to fly this flag sticker or flag magnet on the car is to put it on the port side or the driver's side. When they put in the new hood, I guess I'll add this. When they put in the new hood, one of the insidious little issues is that the hinges weren't, he did his best to set the hinges, but it's not perfect. So when I want this gap properly, I have to physically mash it down so that they're a little bit more flush and even. And what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So here we go. And now it's just perfect. Cosmetically, the car is where I want it. Now, the only unfinished business is more performance and technical related. On that note, I will finish and bid you adieu.